Hello, everyone. I'm Kiran Maharaj of the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce, and I just want to wish CBX a very happy anniversary. Thank you, CBX, for keeping us informed, and may you continue to grow globally, making strides everywhere. Best wishes.
The time by Carrie Chris is 6 p.m. Time for CBX Business News. The business news headlines is brought to you by QMax Wealth Management, making more possible.
Regionally, Anguilla leverages .ai to drive tech hub growth. And internationally, OECD warns global growth to slow as U.S. tariffs weigh on trade. Those were the stories making today's CBX Evening News. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Rochelle Moncrief. Thanks for watching CBX, your region, your business, your source.
Wealth is not simply counted in dollars or cents, but in the time we spend with love, in love, giving love. Wealth is not simply a means to an end. It is the means to live out loud. Wealth is more than money. It's about family, the memories you create, the legacy you leave behind, and your ability to enjoy life in the moment. It's also about seeing the QMax possibilities and seizing investment opportunities to achieve the future you want and deserve. Which is why QMax Wealth will focus on your investments so you can experience more. Because true wealth is truly more. To start investing today, call 876-926-7767.
The local news is brought to you by Derriman Trading, better from the start. Development Bank of Jamaica, facilitating economic growth and development. Caribbean flavors and fragrances, tease the senses, and Pulse Investments.
Back to CBX Business News. We begin with a major shift in Jamaica's business landscape. Jamaica's business registration system is in the midst of its most ambitious overhaul in decades, with the company's Office of Jamaica COJ fast-tracking digital upgrades to enhance service delivery and sharpen the country's competitiveness as a business hub. Addressing a ministerial press conference this morning, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Senator Aubin Hill, reported that within the last 5 months, the COJ processed almost 41,000 transactions, even as walk-in visits fell by 7%.
Between April and August of this year, we had 35,244 customers. Listen carefully. Last year, same period of time, we had 36,177 customers. In other words, this year we dropped by almost 7% the amount of customers we serve. Normally sounds bad, but there's another set of numbers for you. The transactions this year, that's the period between April and August, have risen to 40,758 transactions, which is a 21% increase over the 33,730 last year. So we have less customers and more means digitization is happening.
That was Minister of Investment, Industry and Commerce, Senator Aubin Hill. Meanwhile, responding to questions fielded by CBX's Rondine Williams, COJ CEO Shelley Leon outlined how the success of the agency's digital upgrades will be measured and linked to Jamaica's wider digital economy.
All right, so currently the Companies Office of Jamaica, we operate a one-stop shop. So it therefore means that when you are registering a business or you're incorporating a company, that information, the Companies Office feeds information to, for example, tax administration, to the National Housing Trust, to Heart Trust, and to the Ministry of Labor. So therefore, all the registration information, it will be available via an API interface.
That was COJ's Chief Executive Officer and Registrar of Companies, Shelley Leon. The Jamaica Chamber of Commerce, JCC, is reporting another year of resilience, with income strengthening across its main revenue streams despite a modest operating deficit. Making the report during the JCC's annual general meeting earlier today, Assistant Honorary Treasurer Wilbert Spence revealed that total income climbed 13% in 2024, rising to almost 65 million from 57 million the year before.
Total income increased by 13%, or 7.69 million compared to 2023. While rising costs resulted in a modest deficit, the organization remains in a strong financial position with healthy liquidity and reserves.
On the balance sheet, Mr. Spence says the chamber remains in a strong position, with assets expanding by over $36 million.
Total income for the year amounted to 64.97 million, up from 57.28 million in 2023. General administrative income increased by 7.80 million, or 14%, to 57.63 million, largely driven by growth in members' subscription and other income streams, such as hosting the annual awards banquet.
That was Assistant Honorary Treasurer Wilbert Spence. Caribbean Cement Company Limited has achieved a new milestone in its regional growth strategy, exporting 3,000 metric tons of cement to Curaçao. This marks the first shipment since the commissioning of its Jamaican $6.7 billion debottleneck project earlier this year. The investment, completed in June, boosted production capacity at the company's Rockford plant, enabling record output of cement and clinker. In a release on Monday, Managing Director George Martinez says the move underscores Carib Cement's dual mandate of serving Jamaica first while leveraging new capacity for regional growth.
What you are witnessing is a company that not only fully resources the local market, but also has the strengthened capacity to export. Our first commitment is to Jamaica, and now that we can consistently meet domestic demand, we are completing the local market with exports, leveraging the surplus from our expanded capacity.
That was Managing Director of Caribbean Cement Limited, George Martinez. And the Small Business Association of Jamaica, SBAJ, is intensifying its push for financing reforms, stressing that better credit solutions are critical to lowering borrowing costs for entrepreneurs. Acting President Denise Williams notes that in today's market, interest rates are tied directly to credit scores, leaving women and rural entrepreneurs at a disadvantage when they lack the support to strengthen their credit profiles.
We understand that in our modern Jamaican financial situation, interest rates are a function of your credit score. So that is, what I do in terms of my company, where credit repair services, we work with our clients to help them improve their credit score. So that is another challenge. And in fact, that's one of the biggest challenges of women and rural entrepreneurs.
That was acting Vice President of the Small Business Association of Jamaica, Denise Williams. We go now to updates from the Bank of Jamaica on how the currency markets traded today. In Tuesday's currency trading session, the US dollar is selling for $160.93, the Canadian for $117.50, the pound for $216.91, while $190.87 is the going rate for the euro. We move to the latest updates from the JSE equities markets. In Tuesday's trading session, the JSE market activity resulted in the trading of 109 stocks, of which 37 advanced, 50 declined, and 22 traded firm. Leading the winners are R.A. Williams Distributors, JFP Limited, Express Catering, and AMG Packaging and Paper Company. While leading the losers are Paramount Trading Jamaica, MFS Capital Partners, Productive Business Solution US Ordinary Shares, and Lasco Manufacturing. The main index declined by 461.73 points, or 0.14%, to close at 318,737.76 points. The junior market index also declined, but by 30.27 points, or 0.89%, to close at 3,376.39 points.
And it's time for Market Education Feature, brought to you by Carrie Chris, Regional Ratings, Global Standard.
In our last Market Education Feature, we looked at repurchase agreements or repos. Today, we'll examine the reverse side of that transaction, the reverse repo. A reverse repo is the mirror image of a repurchase agreement. In this transaction, the buyer agrees to sell securities back to the original seller at a slightly higher price on a set future date. From the seller's perspective, it works like a collateralized loan, providing a way to secure short-term funding and manage cash flow. While repos reflect the borrower's side of the deal, reverse repos present or represent the lender's side. They are widely used by central banks, lending institutions, and investors as a money market tool to manage liquidity in the financial system.
The Market Education Feature was brought to you by Carrie Chris, Regional Ratings, Global Standards.
And that's it for the local news segment. Please stay with us. The regional news is up next.
The local news is brought to you by Darriman Trading, better from the start. Development Bank of Jamaica, facilitating economic growth and development. Caribbean flavors and fragrances, tease the senses. And Pulse Investments.
It's feeling so good right now. Feeling so good right now. Yeah, yeah. It's feeling so good right now. Feeling so good right now. Yeah, yeah. It's feeling so good right now. Don't never, ever, ever wanna calm down. No, no, no. Yeah, yeah.
Welcome back. And now for the regional business news. Anguilla is cashing in on a digital jackpot. The island's tiny country code .ai has become one of the hottest commodities in the global tech space. And now the government is moving to turn domain revenue into long-term growth. The .ai suffix is Anguilla's official country code top-level domain, but unlike most country codes, it has become highly sought after by tech firms worldwide because AI also stands for artificial intelligence. Speaking at a recent press conference, Infrastructure Minister Jose Vanterpool reported that earnings from the .ai domain, widely adopted by artificial intelligence firms, are holding steady at between 7 and 9 million US dollars every month.
As it relates to .ai and leveraging the domain, the Premier would have given an update on the domain performance, which is strong between $7 and $9 million per month. The months where we see it do bump up to 9 and then come back down to 8, it's not an indication that the domain, the revenues are declining, but that's as a result of auctions performing very well in those months, so sending them above and beyond what we would anticipate to get. But we do project that between now and the rest of the year, we will continue to make about $7 to $8 million on average auction sparing, which may still bump us up a bit extra for the remainder of the year.
Now, the government is looking to leverage the domain beyond revenue. Plans are underway to host a series of international AI conferences on the island, each targeting a different segment of the global AI ecosystem.
For the persons who may not see the link between the AI conferences and managing or leveraging it against the .ai domain, it's beyond just hosting a conference to say you have an AI conference here in Anguilla. For the people who say, well, why not have one conference as opposed to multiple conferences? Each conference that we're looking at hosting here in Anguilla is targeting a different niche, a different audience, a different set of people who would be interested in the content tailored to that specific event.
That was Anguilla's Infrastructure Minister, Jose Vanterpool. We now go to the Bahamas, where a major step toward energy reform is underway. Bahamas Power and Light, BPL, is taking a concrete step in grid modernization, testing smart meters in Eleuthera to give customers real-time control over usage and help cut outages. In a move to shift from talk to action, BPL Chief Operating Officer Anthony Christie announced the launch of a 30-day pilot of advanced metering infrastructure known as AMI.
We're improving the grid, and as we know, we're improving our generation capacity, our generation systems. We're adding solar renewables. We're also improving the T&D systems, particularly in New Providence and also the Family Islands. So they'll have a lot of smart technology which allows us to get data in real time, basically allowing us to address issues and problems in real time.
He says AMI puts smart on the customer side of the network, giving consumers instant visibility of their bills.
The AMI or smart meters, they address the issues on the demand side, on the customer side. So these meters, again, will be installed. They will allow us to acquire data instantaneously in real time, allow us to pinpoint any issues that occur in real time, and again, address everything in real time. This will improve reliability, meaning you will stay on longer and more than being off, and also resiliency, so we're able to pinpoint where an issue is on the system, what area is being impacted, and be able to address that very quickly.
That was BPL's Chief Operating Officer, Anthony Christie. In other news, Grenada is opening the door for ordinary citizens to become investors with the launch of its first ever household bond program. The 2-year bond carries a fixed interest rate of 4.25% with a minimum investment of just $500 and a semi-annual payouts. Subscriptions open October 31 on a first-come, first-served basis across the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. Finance Minister Dennis Cornwall says the $5 million Eastern Caribbean-backed bond is designed to build financial literacy and wealth creation among households, not just institutions.
Grenada is collaborating with the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank and key stakeholders in piloting an important new initiative, the household bond. The issue amount of the bond is $5 million EC dollars. That is important because government would raise from providing this investment opportunity a drop in the bucket, really, as the main objective is not to raise financing for government, but empower households to take the first steps into the world of investing and wealth creation.
That was Grenada's Finance Minister, Dennis Cornwall. It's now time for news from the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 23 securities, of which 5 advanced, 6 declined, and 12 traded firm. Today's winners are A.S. Bryden and Sons Holdings, Trinidad and Tobago NGL, Guardian Holdings, and First Citizens Group Financial Holdings, while leading the losers are Massey Holdings, Grace Kennedy Limited, Unilever Caribbean, and Calypso Macro Index Fund. Trading activity resulted in the following movements. The All TNT Index advanced by 1.96 points to close at 1,413.73. The Composite Index declined by 0.10 points to close at 982.12. The cross-listed index declined by 0.33 points to close at 72.85. The SME index remained at 100.64. And we take a short break, but please do stay with us. The international news segment is up.
Let's all get fit. This summer set drip. Hip dips and split. Power in the mind, let's get healthy with it. Sometimes the body's so hard, but everybody wants it. And then your head is so home, and it's so like this. So we gotta go 1, 2, 3. One more now. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. One more now. 1, 2, 3. One more now. 1, 2, 3, go.
Okay, I just sent the money. I'll WhatsApp you the tracking number.
Thanks, Daddy. I can't wait to buy that PS5.
Listen to me. Your birthday money is not just for spending. You remember what I told your mom? Remember to open the bank account immediately after collecting the money. Your mom has her ID, TRN, proof of address, proof of income, and your school ID.
I'm not an adult yet, so Mommy will have to open the account with me.
Yes. Anyways, I'm headed back to work, so call me later. I love you guys.
This financial literacy tip is brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, promoting financial inclusion. For more information, visit our BOJ Real Talk playlist on our YouTube channel.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. In the international news today, the OECD forecasts global economic growth will slow to 3.2% in 2025 and 2.9% in 2026, down from an estimated 3.3% in 2024 as rising U.S. tariffs dampen trade and investments. Despite the slowdown, the 2025 outlook was revised 0.3 percentage points higher than June's forecast, reflecting better than expected resilience in the first half of the year. United States, the growth is projected to be 1.8% in 2025, 1.5% in 2026, weighed down by trade barriers, slowing immigration, and a shrinking federal workforce. Over in China, the economy is expected to expand by 4.9% in 2025, 4.4% in 2026, amid fading stimulus, cooling activity, and tariff headwinds. While over in Europe, growth is seen as at 1.2% in 2025, 1.1% in 2026, with geopolitical risks and weaker external demand curbing momentum. At the same time, over in the UK, forecasts are at 1.4% in 2025 and 1% in 2026, while in Japan, the projected growth is seen at 1.1% and 0.5%, respectively, in 2025 and 2026. Global inflation is expected to moderate to 3.4% in 2025 and 2.9% in 2026, though the OECD warns that inflationary pressures could re-emerge depending on energy prices and wage trends. Zero Hash, a crypto infrastructure startup, has secured $104 million in fresh funding from major financial institutions, including Morgan Stanley, Sophie, and Apollo. The round was led by Interactive Brokers and included several of Zero Hash's strategic partners and clients. Founded by Edward Woodford, Zero Hash enables banks and fintechs to integrate blockchain-based services such as crypto trading, stablecoins, and tokenization. The funding highlights continued institutional interest in crypto infrastructure despite recent market volatility. Amazon is in court this week as the Federal Trade Commission's lawsuit over its Prime subscription program heads to trial. The FTC, in a complaint filed in 2023, accuses Amazon of tricking and trapping users into enrolling in Prime and deliberately making the cancellation process overly complex. The jury trial began Monday with opening arguments set for Tuesday. The case marks a major test of the FTC's efforts to rein in what it sees as manipulative digital subscription tactics by major tech firms. Amazon has denied any wrongdoings, saying customers can cancel Prime with a few clicks. The U.S. current account deficit narrowed by $188.5 billion, or 42.9%, to $251.3 billion in Q2 of 2025, down from a record high gap in the previous quarter and roughly in line with the market projections of a $250 billion shortfall. The improvement was driven primarily by a reduction in the goods deficit, which fell to $270 billion from $265.8 billion as companies slowed imports after front-loading purchases to avoid newly imposed tariffs by the U.S. administration. Meanwhile, the services surplus edged slightly lower to $79.6 billion from $80.3 billion. On the income side, the primary income deficit widened to $7.7 billion, moving from $2.6, while the secondary income deficit increased to $53.2 billion, moving from $51.7. And those were your international business stories. After the break, do rejoin us for your recap.
If it were not for the Jamaica Stock Exchange listing, Phosphate Company Limited would not be where it's at today. I called them, they listened to my concerns and my fears, and they gave me the answers. All the fears I had about banks, about losing control, you are having them. And I tell you, they were dissipated when I spoke to the Jamaica Stock Exchange. This is one of the best decisions I have ever made in business. If you want to change the trajectory of your business and to grow, make that call today to the Jamaica Stock Exchange. You will be glad you did.
And now to recap our top stories. In the local news, COJ pushes digital upgrades to transform business registration. Regionally, Anguilla leverages .ai to drive tech hub growth. And internationally, OECD warns global growth to slow as US tariffs weigh on trade. Those were the stories making today's CBX Evening News. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Rochelle Moncrief. Thanks for watching CBX, your region, your business, your source.
Burgess, CEO of Sugar Lifestyle. You're watching CBX, your region, your business, your source.
Are so much book you need for high school?
I'll show you how to make sure you have all the money for my books and even some extra. It's called budgeting, Dad. Making a budget is the most important thing you can do to track your money. It keeps a record of how much you make, how much you spend, where you spend it, and most importantly, how much you can save. Write down all your income, write down all your expenses, see where you can cut down and allot more money